All right, welcome back. This is still Good Morning Kenya. My name is Ram Maguko. It's a pleasure being with you today. And if at all you're just joining us, you're in time for the next conversation of today. And we want to talk about how to safeguard children, safeguards for children living with disabilities. This is Family Check. And to help us in this particular discussion, to my far left, I am with Saum Siraj. She is a chair for the Rotary District 9212 Sunshine Rally, and next to me is Zena Rashid, committee member for Rotary Sunshine. Karibuni sana.
Asante.
Welcome to the show. I'm happy and glad to have you today. And of course, to everybody watching, I know you may be having, some may be having trouble, coping when it comes to raising children with disabilities. Ask your questions. How can you be able to raise and live with a child living with a disability? What are some of the do's and don'ts when it comes to this particular subject matter? We welcome your feedback and thank you so much for being part of this conversation. And let me start with you, Saum. Before we head over to the nitty-gritties, let's talk about the Rotary. What is it all about?
Thank you for having us here this morning. Rotary is just an international organization of volunteers, people who run businesses. They have their day-to-day jobs. Some are retirees who come together to do good in the community. We are over 1.4 million members around the world, started in Chicago in 1903, going strong with presence in over 200 countries worldwide. Wow. So we just come together to do good in different aspects. We have 7 focus areas. One is maternal, child and healthcare. That's why we're here. We have focus areas on basic education and literacy, water, sanitation and hygiene, peace and conflict resolution, environment and economic empowerment. In Kenya, we have quite a number of clubs, but we are clustered in districts. That's why you've had my title being Rotary District 9212 Sunshine Rally Chair. So our district encompasses Kenya, Ethiopia, South Sudan and Eritrea. So we work together that way. And
so Kenya is a district in itself?
No, we are part of a district, that district 9212.
Oh, 9212 in Kenya is a district?
Yeah, it's part of a district 9212. So we've been clustered together with Ethiopia, South Sudan, and Eritrea. So and we have somebody who manages the district. She's called a district governor. Currently, her name is Azeb Asrat, and she's from Ethiopia.
And Zena, you're also committee member.
Yes.
You joined the Rotary.
Yes, I joined the Rotary in, I think, maybe 2015. It has been a great experience, and we're just giving back to the community. So now I joined the committee for Rotary Sunshine Rally, at least learning at Saum's feet, because she's more experienced. But I'm really enjoying it. Yes.
Thank you so much, Zena. And we shall be getting to know your experience as we proceed. But let me start with you, Saum. And then I'll come to you, Zena, on the particular aspect of handling or safeguarding children living with disabilities, even as we stay with them. What are some of the things that parents need to consider, especially when dealing with a child living with a disability?
First and foremost, my emphasis would be that there's nothing wrong with having a child with a disability. The African culture for many years has always hidden children with disabilities. And that makes it very difficult even for the child as they are growing up. For those who are lucky to be allowed to grow up. We know families that have actually murdered children with disabilities thinking they are a curse. Let's start from there.
And we need to really call it as it is. They are not cursed.
They are not cursed.
They are not cursed. They don't have any problem.
They are not cursed. They're amazing people. We have lived with them. I have worked with them. We have interacted with them over and over the years. And they are very amazing souls. Amazing. So let's start from there. If you feel like your child has a disability, and this is something as a parent, you need to watch the growth of your child. If they're having a challenge in maybe walking, speaking, Already, if they were born and you're told after a while that they are blind. So you quickly need to come to terms with it. First things first, get counseling on how to deal with this. You as a parent, the rest of the family members, especially the immediate family members or the nuclear members who will be living with this child, if they have other older siblings or relatives you stay with, they need to get counseling and be advised that this is okay and they can live with it. From there now, as a parent, now you take it upon yourself to learn everything that there is to learn about that disability the child has. You take them for a health assessment. And there are different facilities. In fact, most of the hospitals, both government and private, have a section where a child will be assessed, and then they'll figure out what disability they have. Remember, we have various kinds of disability. Most of the disabilities that people think are there is just the ones of being visually impaired, that's being blind, or physically handicapped. But then you see we have others in the neurodiversity spectrum where we have autistic children, children with Down syndrome, children with ADHD and things like that. Those ones now need further assessment.
Now, let me come to you, Zena. Your thoughts on the same when it comes to things to consider when taking care of a child living with disabilities. Maybe your input on the same. I love the fact that Saum is talking about us not discriminating against these children. Zena?
Yes. I didn't mention the fact that I'm visually impaired. And I wasn't born like that. It came later in life. But when it happened, I noticed the change in which people are treating me. Yeah? And it was really hurtful. People avoid you and they don't want to touch you because maybe you'll infect them with blindness, or
they think it's an infection.
Yeah, or you're cursed. They just push you like, oh my gosh, and that like now anyway. But they're somehow very supportive. But now I'm wondering, now for children, it's more difficult. And then there's bullying by other children. Your parents maybe want to reject you, but you know. This child is still someone who has so much potential. It's just that maybe the way you teach them is different from others. So maybe I think parents who maybe discover that their child has a disability should maybe seek the larger community. Maybe if you know someone else who is blind or someone who has a child who is visually impaired, for instance, maybe go seek out and find out how can you teach your child better, or at least to enable them to live life to the fullest.
And these perceptions need to change. The transition must have been difficult, especially for you. The transition from you are used to living in a particular way, and now things are changing all at the same time.
It was tough. I was a person who loved art and sketching and watching rugby and watching movies. But now, when I lost my sight, I was wondering, now, what am I going to do with about anything? And at least I went for rehabilitation, and there I learned life can go on. And I still like movies. There's something called audio description where they describe what is happening in the background. So I can still enjoy movies and discuss them with other people. But now, it's like, for example, the church, yeah? For instance, I was very happy to hear the first visually impaired priest recently. He was ordained recently, because many churches believe to be on the altar, you have to be without blemish, which means to them a person with disabilities. So it's like they're saying you're made in God's image, but just not you, with disabilities. So
maybe you need to go through some process of healing.
So now, now if you accept your child and expose them to a lot, and then if they are able to learn in regular schools as opposed to special schools, take them to the regular schools. At least there they'll be molded and grow within a proper community.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, one thing that is coming out of this discussion, Saum, is that the mental well-being of this child or this individual that we are living with, this person living with disability, is something we need to consider. How best can we ensure that the mental their mental wellness is promoted, that they are mentally healthy?
So, by the way, mental is key even for you and I as we interact.
Yes.
What goes on in your mind is what translates in what you're doing out here. So it's like you've said, mental is very important. It needs to be taken care of. That means the support system the child first has to understand their circumstance. Like I said, they go through counseling and also seek professional help on how to handle that child. And then even now take it further. You have to, when the child is in a position to understand, you explain to them. But even as a child at 1 year or 2 years, as parents, there's a way they relate with you and you understand things, without really explaining in detail, but you understand. And then as you grow up now, you develop that relationship where they're able to explain to you things. But remember, we have children with the neurodiversity spectrum. They may not really be able to understand things in details. But there's a way you communicate with them. Like, see children with cerebral palsy, the ones who have extreme, they can't even move, they're just there. But as a caregiver or as a parent, you have to show them love. There's a way you show love physically, how you touch them, how you hold them. There's a way you communicate. If you visit centers that take care of children with cerebral palsy, you would understand that better. But if the children are loved, you can see they are happy, their faces are happy. They are not moving, but they're happy. They're happy. They are happier than the rest of us who are going on with our lives.
And they feel like someone is actually responding to their needs.
And you can see there's that just silent communication going on. So when we come to now, this other child maybe who just has a physical disability or a visual impairment, it's important that we encourage them every day that they're okay. They will be what they want to be. You even show them those. Nowadays with technology, luckily, we have amazing videos that encourage people what's going on. See this person, he's rich, he's gone. There's Olympics, there's Paralympics. If you want to engage in sports, there's music. If you want to engage in music, there's art.
I love even what Zena said. She can even watch movies.
She can watch movies, because you see, we have assistive devices. We have lots of technology, software. Artificial intelligence is big. And some of us sit and just think life has stopped. Life doesn't stop. There's so much that can be done.
I love that. Zena, your thoughts on the same? I love the fact that, we have these structures around us, and all it takes is for us to just utilize them, use them, and take advantage of these particular structures. But people are not aware about their existence.
Yes.
Is that so, Zena?
It's so true. I think we need to have more persons with disabilities in certain fields. So at least, just to inject that knowledge so that everyone has just a bit of information, so that it will really help. Like, for example, many people don't know blind people can use phones and laptops, and if you have apps, certain applications, and they really help you. So now if this person knows their child can do so much, if they have access to this, maybe it will make such a big difference. Maybe they think your child cannot just be a beggar or something.
It's important that even as talking about a child not being a beggar, the aspect of them being comfortable around you is a process.
Yes, it is.
Right?
Yeah.
It isn't an immediate thing.
No.
It can't be achieved by a snap of a finger or within a day. It is not possible. How can you achieve that? How can a parent watching you today be able to achieve that aspect of comfortability, communication, and comfort within them, such that their child is free? Because some of them will withdraw. Isn't that so?
Yes.
Yeah. I think as a parent, I interact with a lot of parents who have children with disabilities. So it's important that first you pray for that patience and grace to be able to manage a child with a disability. Like for those who've interacted with children with autism or ADHD, they may come out as brats, and those are just kids who have a disability, and they're a handful. But then there's a way you handle them very patiently, and you manage them, and they'll be fine. And you have to be part and parcel of their lives.
Is there a need for a professional to be, making home visits? Is there a need for consultations with a specialist or something?
Yeah, they have to do occupational therapy a lot. You have to go for counseling a lot. Then also your environment, the way you've set up, it has to be child safety in terms of how you've placed your furniture. There are things you have to be child-proof if you can afford it. Some things are very basic. If you're somebody who probably you liked having ornaments, etc., you do away with that. You sacrifice some of the luxuries that you were used to before you discovered your child has a disability, just to accommodate the child, so that you're not forever screaming to that child, don't touch this thing. This child has autism, they have ADHD, so they have that urge to do things. Get those things out of the way. It will not kill you not to have those ornaments, you know?
Yeah.
So the thing is just being flexible, being very patient, but most importantly, use the technology around us. Take as an extra mile, and do also research. Beyond seeing a professional to get information, there's a lot of free information online in terms of what you can do, how you can improve. Then we have those online community groups, whether in Facebook, Telegram, etc., where parents exchange, caregivers exchange, advise each other. Some meet virtually. Nowadays, the beauty about life nowadays is that you can meet virtually and discuss, exchange ideas, learn from each other. So it's a whole learning process. It changes your life, but I think it makes the life of this beautiful child that you have with you better, and to become a very meaningful person in society.
All right. Then your thoughts on the same physical environment, how we can customize it to suit children living with disabilities at home and at work.
At work. Okay.
At home. And I'm mentioning work because I'm coming there. Let's start with home first.
At home, it's important to take into consideration maybe the kind of disability a child has. It would be nice if maybe someone maybe has something to like grab on to, maybe to hold on to as they try and navigate. Maybe avoid sharp edges to avoid accidents. Just try, just even within your budget, just to make the place comfortable and injury-free, even for just a child without disabilities. Yes.
And let's talk about the work aspect, because now that's where we're coming to. Because for you, you had to transition now.
Yes.
And work must have been affected in the first, quarter of this transition. How was it now transitioning, and how can we now customize our work environment to suit persons living with disabilities, especially those who are going to work with their own children, because there are those who go to work with children living with disabilities.
Okay, and I'm aware many places these days have like daycare centers for parents with children. So it would be nice to at least train the minders on how to take care of the child with disabilities, if they have special needs that need to be taken care of. Maybe even teachers, for example, teachers, nurses, especially those ones really need to know how to take care of children, and because they are interacting with them at such a intense level. So now at the workplace, it was challenging, but the good thing with my where I work, for example, the lifts have announcers, so I can tell what floor I am on. Doors open, so at least I know I'm on the 5th floor. I just get out. Yeah, but there's some places where it's quiet.
So quiet.
I wouldn't know even by myself, because you can't have a guide with you 24/7.
You only hear a ding only.
Yeah, ding, but you have no idea what floor that is. You'll get lost.
Just the bell.
Yes, and then I had to buy. Disability is very expensive. So for the laptop, a regular laptop, you have to use an application which has a screen reader, which is very, very expensive. But now, the good thing, I want to encourage employers. For example, if you hire someone with disabilities, and obviously they're going to make such an interesting contribution to your business. And I want to add that if any modifications you make to your business, 50% you can deduct from tax. So, it's a win-win. And plus, the salary you pay a person with disabilities, 25% is also deductible. So now, and then when you do that, when a person with disability, you take into consideration their needs, brand loyalty among persons with disabilities is really fierce. And you'll gain persons who will really take advantage of, take your goods and services. Yeah.
Okay. I get you. And I'm coming to you, Saum, on the aspect of opportunities, because we need to ensure that opportunities are there for all.
Yeah.
Not just for a few, a chosen few in the society. Even children and persons living with disabilities, opportunities need to be there. Equal opportunities for them. How far are we in terms of bridging this gap, especially in the country today?
We've had great strides over the years. Actually, for me, after I joined Rotary 11 years ago, when I joined Rotary, I joined a program that normally hosts an event every year for children with disabilities. So it's called Rotary Sunshine Rally.
Looking forward to it this year.
Yeah, we have it this year, and this year at least we've devolved it a bit. On 25th of February we have it in Kisii. 4th of March we have it in Nairobi Jamhuri Grounds. 18th of March we'll have it in Kirinyaga. So this is an event we bring in together children with disabilities, make them, just entertain them, feed them, give them gifts, make them feel loved. You know that psychosocial support. That's what we are trying to do. And create awareness out there. When you're having this event, we are trying to create awareness out there just to make the world know that these are amazing people. We should just show them love like the rest. They have a right to education, healthcare, employment opportunities, and etc. So, and I've been a member of that Sunshine Rally Committee for the last 11 years. So I've seen the great strides that even the government has made in terms of creating opportunities for persons with disabilities. Right from Parliament, where there has to be at least 10 representatives in the Parliament Committee, and then two at national. Then now there's some rights, some bills have been passed, like the one that Zena just mentioned. So opportunities have been created, but there is much more. Like for a person with disability, getting assessment, healthcare assessment, or even normal healthcare, it's a challenge. Already these guys are, disability and poverty go hand in hand. Can the government have a special healthcare package for persons with disability? That would be amazing. Let's just start from healthcare.
I echo you on that.
And I know they've been pushing on special education. I don't think they're taking it too seriously, but I hope things will get better. Now,
let me come to you, Zena. You can give your thoughts in regards to the opportunities, but also touch on one aspect that Saum was mentioned, the legal rights of persons living with disabilities. If as you also air in your view on the opportunities for them.
As much as the legal right now encompasses so much, now the laws give these children the right to education, to to healthcare, to live with their family, to do everything that's in the best interest of the child. And this includes, obviously, children with disabilities. And at least, these, for example, okay, what Saum was saying that it's a challenge. It really is, and but we're like, okay, I'm a board member for the National Council for Persons with Disabilities, and we've been having negotiations with county directors, and it was a big issue, and talking about the cost of healthcare. So at least for assessment, many counties have decided to either waive the fee or reduce it to, like, some counties it was 2,000 shillings. So it has been reduced to like 200 shillings. Okay. So at least that's a step we are making. Wow. But we still have a long way to go. And now there, you get to see one of the functions of National Council is to give legal advice to persons with disabilities. And there you see there's so much discrimination that people are facing, and they don't have access to basic things even that you need to navigate life, or to even have employment opportunities. So at least there we can manage to give you pro bono services, and we also encourage other advocates to sign up to do the same. And do the same. Yes.
I want us to bring this conversation to a close on that particular point. And let me give you just 10 seconds to have a final word, 20 seconds to have a final word, Saum. Talk to Kenyans today, even as we wrap this up. What will be your parting shot?
Well, my parting shot is that persons with disabilities, having a disability is not an inability in life. Right. And therefore we must embrace persons with disability.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Zena, parting shot, just 10 seconds.
Disability is a club anyone can join at any time. So just be loving. Be loving. As much as you can.
Asante sana. That is Zena Rashid and Saumuri Siraj. Thank you so much for coming, ladies.
Thank you.
It has been a pleasure.
Same here.
Pleasure.
And that is what brings us to the end of Good Morning Kenya this fine Monday morning. I hope you've learned something. I hope you're blessed. Thank you so much for sticking with us. My name is Ram Maguko, and we hand you over to the other side. Of course, the news check is coming up in a bit. Thank you so much for sticking with KBC Channel 1. May God bless you. May God bless the work of your hands. Have a fantastic day.